This type of call is very complex. Because the aircraft went down in the water, we responded both our dive team. We had 2 different boats going along with it. There's several other assets as well that helped us out. The Newport News Police Department boat was in the water. It is my understanding that a private vessel actually picked up the 3 people who were in the aircraft. They are all accounted for. There are no reported injuries, but as in typical protocol, we will be taking them over to Portsmouth Naval Hospital so that they can be evaluated at that time. Currently what is going on now is this scene will be an active investigation for quite some time. The military will take the lead on that. In order to assist them, we have closed off a perimeter around where the helicopter went down. Our hazardous materials team is going to go out and dike the area so that any fuel that may be escaping from the aircraft will actually be contained in a small area. We also have assets from Virginia Marine Police and the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. So this will be an extended operation, and we will have a coordinated effort between all the agencies here.
What do you know about why the plane went down?
I don't have any information as to the cause of the accident. The only thing that I am certain of is that it was reported by a civilian who saw the aircraft go down, and they immediately called 911, and we responded out with all the different assets.
Were they doing some type of training exercise out there?
I'm not certain if they were or not. That would be a question that the military would have to answer.
And at this point, do you know exactly where the aircraft is right now?
Yes, it's north of the James River Bridge. It is approximately out in the middle of the James River. And if your cameras can pan over, we actually have some boats in that area and where the aircraft went down.
So I understand, the 3 were picked up by a Good Samaritan and then transferred over onto that Newport News police?
Yes, a vessel that was in the area, a civilian vessel, actually picked up the 3 people who were on board the aircraft. And they were first transferred to the Newport News police boat, and then once the fire boat met up with them so that they could be further evaluated to make certain that they were not injured, they were transferred over to the fire boat, who in turn brought them here to shore at Huntington Park.
Wow, so they were on 4 different, they were on the helicopter and then 3 other boats until they got to the shore, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
The reason why we transferred them over to the fire department boat is because we have all the people there are medically trained to treat the different injuries that they may have had, plus we have all the medical equipment that would have been necessary to treat the 3 people who went down with the vessel.
And so what's the process of recovering the aircraft right now?
That's a question for the military. Right now, our job is just to make certain that the area is secure, that we actually have a perimeter around it where other vessels will not intrude into that area, and to make certain that we capture any materials that may be released from the aircraft.
And Chief, we know you said no major injuries, they're still being evaluated, but what were their spirits like when what were they saying or to your guys once they were picked up?
I'm not certain of that, but when they walked off the boat, they walked under their own power. A rousing round of applause was heard from the crowd that has gathered here, and they looked to be in good spirits. But as far as there wasn't anything recognizable as far as injuries.
What else can you tell us about the helicopter?
I'm not very familiar with the exact model of the aircraft that went down, and that's something that the Navy will have to provide for us.
What's the concern at this point for anyone else that may be out here? We saw a lot of families out here, obviously a lot of folks still on their boats and still on their vessels in the water today. What do you want those folks to know?
Well, Newport News, we have a really good relationship with all the agencies. We work hand in hand with the Coast Guard, we work hand in hand with Virginia Marine Police, with our police department, the fire department. We actually conduct joint training specifically so that if we have incidents like this, we can respond accordingly. And it's a coordinated effort rather than trying to make things up as we go along. So each party has a particular role that they will play. Now, obviously, the life safety concern is our greatest concern. We want to make certain that if we can effect the rescue, we will absolutely do that. That's why when the fireboat went out there, we had divers on board. They had their gear on. They were ready to go overboard in case they needed to actually dive upon the aircraft to try to effect a rescue.
And I'm sorry if you already said, were the pilots able to eject themselves with the passengers on board?
I'm not certain how they got out of the boat. Okay. It's my understanding, though, that it was relatively quick after the aircraft went down that the civilian vessel was in the area and was able to pick up the 3 persons who were on board.
And this could have been a lot more tragic, all 3 of them walking off. How are you feeling today knowing that, nobody died? I
think this speaks very highly of the coordinated effort that we have with all the agencies. The fire department, police department, we hold our military people in very high esteem for the jobs that they do, and we are grateful that no one was injured. It is especially proud moment when we can go in there and rescue people, bring them into shore relatively unharmed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and can you just say and spell your first name?
Sure.
I'll take a picture of it.
Okay. I go by Steve.